now that we've learned how Firebase works, that basically we push some data or communicate upward to Firebase, and then we listen to changes from Firebase. The whole idea should be pretty easy when it comes down to remove and update, right? So let's get into remove, right? And what we want here is when we delete it locally, so via long press, then we also want it to delete in the Firebase. And likewise, if it were to be deleted in Firebase for any reason, say, it was deleted from the web app or from another mobile app, then we want that change to be reflected locally, right? So 2 steps, same as before. All right, so the first thing is, if you remember the structure of our data, right? What we were doing was we accessed the objects by their key, right? So we had, we created a push ID, and then we said set value on that, and then we sent along a movie quote. Okay. Well, it turns out that Firebase references also have a remove value method, right? So like before, you just need to give it, the key of the quote that you want to remove, right? And the keys, of course, are children of the whole quote reference, right? So let's go ahead and set this up, all right? And you'll see how we got it here, right? So I'm going to go down, find out in my code inside my movie quote adapter to where I did the remove, which let's see, I think was right here. All right, and what I'm going to do is again, I'm going to delete these lines right here, and instead I'm going to go to my Firebase. And what I need to do is I need to go to a child, right? Which child? Again, so the key of the one that I want to remove. Now you remember we were smart about this when we set up our movie quote class and when we listened for movie quotes. Okay, so back up here. What I did is when I pulled the movie quote down, I set its key, right? So I have it. Each of my local model objects has the key in it. So what I can do is inside here, I can just, for the movie quote that I want to delete, I can call get key, right? And then I call remove value on that. So parentheses and remove value. Right? And just like that, nothing more, nothing less, right? So if I were to test it right now, I'd see that it goes in one direction. But let's go ahead and set up the listener at the same time, right? So on child removed, right? So this is going to let me that someone has been removed. And again, I don't know which one, right? But I do know that it passed me the data snapshot corresponding to the one that was removed. So remember, a data snapshot has 2 parts. It has a key and it has a value, right? So and it turns out that I'm going to need the key at this point because that's the one that I want to blow away. All right, so let's go ahead and save it. So string key is data snapshot.getKey. And now I have all my model object. I have a whole list of them, each with a key. I just need to figure out which of those it corresponds to, right? Who knows which one it is? So I'm going to have to loop over each one. So for each movie quote, call it MQ for instance, in my list, right? I'm going to take it and I'm just going to check really quick here. So if that key, right? So movie quote.getKey dot equals, because they're strings, the key of the one that I'm deleting, right? Then I found it, right? So let's do a remove on that locally, right? So I will say, so my movie quotes dot remove, right? And I'll remove the object itself. Okay. And then I want to also update my adapter, right? So something like that. All right, and then once I've done that, there's no need for me to keep going further, so I can just break out of this, or I can return in this case since my function is done. All right. So let's go ahead and run this, and then we'll talk a little bit about it and see what we got going on here. And let's see. So I want to do a removal, so I'm going to long press on one of these guys. So this hello there one that was left over from yesterday. So I'm going to long press, and we can see that deletes here, and I listened for the change and deleted it locally. Right. So good stuff. This is a good opportunity to clean up. So this one right here, I said that I was going to delete it shortly, so let's go ahead and do that. And again, we can see that that's happening. I can also delete ones from here. So if I just delete an arbitrary one, I can blow it away, and that will, let's see, and we can see that deleted here as well, right? Let's see. I can also, if I want to get sort of the full experience here, so another title, we'll go ahead and add this guy on here, and then if I go to my web app and I do a delete from that guy. Let's see, again, I want to have this locally here. Oops. Let's go ahead and grab this and shrink it up a little bit, and so we can see it, and then I'll delete that, and we can see that blow away there instantaneously, and of course that one's gone from the console. All right. So works just fine. So let's mention some things here in the code. All right. So the first thing is that I use sort of a regular for each loop here. So pros and cons, right? So I could have used a regular for loop, looped over indices. Then perhaps the advantage of that would have been that I could use a little bit more specific method on my adapter, right? Instead of just having to update the entire data set here. That's fine. As far as the actual code goes, so we got it here, so it'll be there for a reference for you in the future, right? Again, if you want to do it using the for each loop. Okay, that's it. See you next time.